Tensions between Russia and the West are escalating, with Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov unleashing a scathing critique of the United States and NATO in a recent year-end interview with TASS. His comments come as the geopolitical landscape grows increasingly volatile, not just in Ukraine, but also across critical global issues like Taiwan and the Middle East. Lavrov wasted no time accusing the US of employing tactics toward Taiwan that mirror the same strategies Washington used to fuel Russia's ongoing conflict with Ukraine. The United States, in its efforts to pressure China over Taiwan, is utilizing methods very similar to those once used to establish an anti-Russian foothold in Ukraine, Lavrov said. This pointed comparison underscores Russia's growing concerns over what it sees as Washington's destabilizing interference, especially as the US continues to boost Taiwan's defense capabilities. Lavrov's remarks on Taiwan further emphasized Moscow's belief that the US is intentionally stoking instability in the region.
If we assess the overall situation in the region, it continues to deteriorate. The US and its satellites declare their commitment to the One China principle, but insist on maintaining the status quo, which implies preserving the current situation indefinitely. Meanwhile, the Americans are taking provocative actions in the Taiwan Strait, supplying arms to Taipei, and developing a quasi-political dialogue with the authorities there. All of this together undoubtedly contributes to the growth of separatist sentiments.
Shifting focus to Ukraine, Lavrov reiterated that Moscow's military operation is centered on ensuring Ukraine's non-aligned status. The multi-year expansion of NATO is one of the primary causes of the Ukrainian crisis, Lavrov stated, reinforcing that securing Ukraine's neutral status remains a primary objective of the operation. Lavrov did not hold back in addressing NATO's direct involvement in the conflict, particularly regarding strikes on Russian soil. He was blunt about NATO's participation in attacks, including long-range missile strikes on Russian territory.
Those who accuse Russia of something need to look at themselves in the mirror, the minister continued. NATO military personnel and mercenaries are blatantly involved in planning and conducting combat operations alongside the Ukrainian armed forces. NATO is involved in the invasion of the Kursk region and strikes with long-range missiles on Russian territory. President Vladimir Putin has made this clear in his recent public speeches. What kind of escalation on our part can we even talk about?
The foreign minister also dismissed the notion of a peace summit hosted by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, reiterating Moscow's firm refusal to engage in negotiations under the current conditions.
It is impossible to guess what Zelensky's public admission of his inability to regain lost territories by force means. Zelensky keeps making various statements all the time. We have stopped paying attention to them, frankly speaking. We do not believe statements, but rather facts, especially when it comes to the Kiev regime. I have repeatedly emphasized that we are not going to participate in the peace summit, even if we receive an invitation.
Lavrov's most alarming comments, however, came regarding the situation in the Middle East, particularly the escalating Iran-Israel confrontation, which he warned could reach a dangerous tipping point. The crisis, he noted, has been fueled in large part by US interventions in the region. The combination of the US's irresponsible actions in the region, coupled with its interference in Arab states' domestic affairs, has led to destabilization, Lavrov remarked, pointing to the widening violence and growing tensions, stretching from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict zone to the Red Sea. As these global tensions intensify, Lavrov's words serve as a stark reminder of the dangerous crossroads the world faces. With Russia openly challenging NATO and the US across multiple fronts, the geopolitical fault lines continue to deepen, suggesting that the stakes are rising, and the point of no return may be fast approaching.